Hi, this is my official 3,000 subscribers video. It is quite late. I'm very sorry. Life just happens at the speed of light. So 3,000 subscribers. Thank you. I know I said it a bit earlier, but again, thank you so much for the 3,000. It happened really quickly after 1,000. I'm not gonna lie. I thought that happened a lot quicker than I ever imagined it would. And that's a pretty sizable number, so I'm pretty excited about it. So my initial intention with the 3,000 subscriber video was going to be another Q&A. So I posted a video asking people to ask questions. I didn't get a lot, so this isn't going to be just a Q&A. I really should have waited for a bigger milestone than 3,000 to try this again. So I'm going to do that. But I did get a few questions, so I'm going to answer them really quickly at the beginning of this. So let's do that. First things first, there was a question that someone asked, but then the comment went missing. Comments keep going missing from my videos. It's getting annoying. So from my memory of the question was, do I watch any soap operas? If so, what are my favorites? If not, what are some of my other favorite movies and TV shows? I believe that was the question. If I got it wrong and you're watching this video, sorry. I really wish I could go back and check your comment, but again, it went missing. To answer the question, I do not watch soap operas. Not for any particular reason, it's just not my cup of tea, per se. So I just never really had the interest. A lot of people do, so who am I to knock it? As for other favorites, you ever have that thing where someone asks you a question like, oh, what's your favorite TV show? And you just forget every TV show you've ever watched. A lot of science fiction, basically. So, you know, Star Trek, Stargate. Well, Stargate's not exactly a favorite, but I do come back to it every so often because it's quite comforting. I've been getting into Futurama again recently. That's one. But yeah, a lot of sci-fi stuff. Some old British comedies like Red Dwarf, Fawlty Towers, Blackadder, all the classics. Yeah, stuff like that. And now let's go through the comments that didn't go missing. I noticed that a certain section of classic Who fans who didn't like the RTD and Moffat eras enjoyed the Chibnall era, and I speculate that Chibnall tried to include some classic Who traits and tropes to appeal to that demographic. However, others I have talked to think I'm wrong about that. What do you think? Are there any other reasons why some classic Who fans gravitated towards the 13th Doctor? This is an interesting question, because for me personally, I'm a massive classic Who head, and I am not the biggest fan of Chris Chibnall's run, just down to a lot of very slipshod characterization and stuff like that. I didn't find his run the most interesting. For me, anyway. If you enjoyed it, I wish I enjoyed it as much as you did. That's my genuine, honest opinion. I know a lot of people really love the 13th Doctor's run. I wish I was them. However, as for why other fans of the classic show might enjoy it, that's a good question, because I genuinely don't really have an answer to that. Maybe it has something to do with the fact that it's a lot more self-contained stuff, and it wasn't as focused on white season arcs to begin with in Series 11, then they kind of just went back to the season arc thing for 12 and 13. Oops. Maybe it's that. Maybe it's the maybe it's the fact that there's less emphasis on returning characters and returning villains, and they tried to do a lot of their own stuff. Possibly that's a factor. Possibly it's another look at the historical things. I know the historical episodes were pretty popular amongst a lot of people. For me personally, they would have been a lot better if they ditched the alien stuff. Like Demons of the Punjab would have been a banger if they'd gotten rid of the aliens in it. The aliens in it are bad. Yeah, no, it's an interesting question, and I wish I had more coherent an answer to it. When ghosts see us, do they think we are the ghosts? I don't think so. Maybe. Maybe they have a different perception of reality, so maybe we are the ghosts. Or maybe they're stuck in a sort of like phantom zone situation, where they can perceive the physical world all around us as like the way it is, but they just can't interact with it. I don't know. We'll have to ask one day. Do you ever just wish you'd never learned how to read? How did you get into Slowdive? Also, thank you for the amazing content. First of all, thank you. Second of all, Slowdive was a band I got into way back in 2016 when I first started listening to shoegaze music. I got into shoegaze through M83, and then through there I was like, all right, let's look up the classics. So, I started with Sometimes by My Bloody Valentine, then moved on to When the Sun Hits by Slowdive, and that one really struck a chord with me, so I got really into Slowdive through that. I wish there was more to that story, but there isn't. It's just kind of basic. What motivated you to start a YouTube channel? I was bored. Again, this is a case of I wish there was more to that story, but yeah, I was bored. And I really wanted to yap about movies to people, but a lot of the people in my life were hitting sort of like an event horizon of how much they wanted to listen to me yap about movies and TV. So I figured, hey, I'll do it into a camera instead. So I set up the channel and then promptly didn't use it for 6 months until Titans, the first season of Titans, started coming out. So I did reviews of every episode of the first season of Titans as it was coming out. They're not good reviews. But it could have been worse. This was nearly a reaction channel, because my first attempt at a video on this channel was a reaction to the first episode of Titans. It got copyright nuked on site, so I gave up. And I think the world is a better place for me not being a reaction channel. How close are you on the Superman 4 and Ideal Cut of Superman 2 videos? Also, are you planning on tackling any other well-known character or franchise to make videos on? This moves on quite nicely to the other part of the video I want to do. My plans for this channel as of now. So, my plans for the channel at the moment. To answer the bulk of the question, yes, I still do intend on making the Superman 4 video and the Ideal Cut of Superman 2 videos. I know they're really late at this point, and I do apologize for that. It's just, life did not go to plan at all in the months between when I said they'd be done by July and when July actually happened. I'm not going to bore everyone with details here, but it's just been a bad year. Not much has gone to plan. And I've been on an eternal game of catch up, just trying to stay ahead of my life in general. So a lot of my bigger projects have sort of fallen by the wayside because of that. That includes the Superman 4 video. That includes the Ideal Cut of Superman 2 video. That includes a review of Series 14 of Doctor Who. I've been writing for months now. It's just a lot of stuff has happened, and I haven't been able to pay as much attention to the channel as I would like to have. So a lot of this stuff is still a little further off than I want it to be. Which isn't to say I'm not doing them, because I still want to do them. And in fact, the Superman 4 video is something I want to get done before the new Superman movie by James Gunn comes out, because I think that'd be a nice thing to time while I finish the old Christopher Reeve movies, and then I watch a brand new take on Superman by someone new. I think that would be a good way of doing it, so I definitely still do want to sit down and take notes and do the Superman 4 review. That's just a case of motivation. I need to actually be able to light the fire under my butt and say, hey, I'm going to do this, and actually do it. And again, as I probably said in my 1,000 sub thing, it's also a case of I need to work out a format for it that I like, because the format I used for the Superman and Superman 2 reviews initially is not one I want to use again, because I feel like it's not nearly as interesting. But yeah, no, they are coming. I do hope to have some serious work done on them before the end of the year. It's just, I've been trying to catch up with myself most of the year, but particularly since the beginning of May. Because nothing in my life since the beginning of May has gone in any way, shape, or form the way I wanted it to. It's all coming. That's the important thing. And as for other things I really want to tackle, you've probably noticed that I've been doing a fair amount of Doctor Who on this channel as of late. I want to keep doing that, and just sort of keep pumping out my thoughts on that show just every so often, because I live and breathe Doctor Who, and it's been really important to me. So I definitely want to do more of that. There was something else that my music reviews. I want to do more of those because I started that series, It's the Remix, and then promptly forgot about it. I want to come back to that because I really liked writing for those. I want to do more serious video essays. I've been trying to get some practice in writing those. If you go to my Patreon, Patreon plug, I'm starting to post more short-form written movie reviews there for times where I have thoughts about a film I've seen but don't necessarily think that it's something I want to do as a video. So I'm getting my practice in doing some proper film criticism that way as well, which means I will want to commit some of those to video at some point. I guess our tally so far is finish Superman series, do a bunch of Doctor Who, film criticism. On the Doctor Who tack, as I said, I'm writing a Series 14 review that I've been working on for months. It's going to be a long one. The script's not even finished and it's already pushing 80 minutes. That's one I really want to get right, because I have a lot of stuff I love about Series 14 of Doctor Who, and there's also a lot of stuff that really, really did not work for me. And I really want to be able to articulate the reasons why and why not it worked for me sensibly, really well, as opposed to just being like, it's a bit shit, internet. Because I don't want people to come away with the feeling that I'm just saying it's a bit shit, internet. Because there's a lot more to it than that. And as I said, there are bits of the series I really adore, so I really want to be as even-handed with that as I possibly can, so I'm taking a really long time to get this right. So there's that. So yeah, Superman, movie reviews, Doctor Who, more music reviews. Also, over the next few months, I will be talking about one of the other projects that's been taking up a bit of my time. I wrote an album. Now, technically speaking, the album's not finished yet. Tomorrow, I intend to put some serious work into finishing some overdubs, actually finishing the lyrics for the bastard, and maybe recording some of them. But yeah, I wrote an album. It is called Spectra. It is 7 tracks long, about 30 minutes long, so it's a fairly short album, but I'm pretty happy with it. And it should be coming out within the next few months. And in fact, I think what I'll do to cap this video off is give you a little preview of this album. And yeah. So yeah, I think that's how I'm going to end this video. I'm sorry it wasn't as thought out as it should have been. But once again, thank you all for 3,000 subscribers. Again, it means just about the world to me. I am working on stuff that I promised that I would do, for sure. It will happen. But in the meantime, here is a preview of my upcoming album, Spectra. I hope you enjoy.